Bruh, every time I think Jada can't surprise us no more, she pop out with a plot twist that got me squinting at the screen like, hold up. Because this time, nah, this ain't no red table talk confession. This ain't no I'm healing, I'm growing, I'm transcending moment. This is court documents, real paperwork, saying Jada allegedly walked up on Will's longtime friend with a 7 deep entourage and told him he could catch a bullet.
Stop it. Get some help.
Catch a bullet. From the same woman who been selling us healing, sage, therapy, accountability circles, journaling, inner child work. Yet somehow she allegedly out here making threats like she's auditioning for Set It Off too. And fam, that's just the beginning. Because the more you peel back, the more you realize this so-called healing era might have been the biggest mask Hollywood ever handed out. Stick with me though. This story gets darker, messier, and way more revealing than anybody expected. Bruh, listen. Bilaal ain't some random dude clout chasing off the Smiths. This man was around before the fame, before I Am Legend, before the Oscar slap. We talking decades of friendship here. So when a man like that suddenly pops out with lawsuits, interviews, and yo, I got stories energy, you gotta ask yourself, what did he see? And the way the court docs paint it, he wasn't just a friend. He was basically family. He helped Will on personal moves, professional moves. He was there for the highs, the lows, the weird Hollywood whispers nobody likes to talk about. That's why this whole thing hits different. When a stranger talks, people ignore it. But when the day one talks, it shakes the room. Bilaal saying he stepped away because things got illegal, unethical, morally compromising. Those are heavy words, bruh. And Jada allegedly reacting like, oh, you done talking? Nah, we gon' talk. That's when everything flipped.
I don't like where this is going.
All right, picture this. It's Will Smith's 53rd birthday. Private event, Calabasas, fancy vibes. Everybody smiling, hugging, eating little appetizers you can't pronounce. Then Jada walks in. But she not walking in solo. She got a 7-person entourage behind her like she running a mini militia. And the lawsuit says the energy switched immediately. No peace and light. No, I'm healing my trauma. Nah, sis allegedly came in like, yo, let me holler at you. With that tone that mean ain't nothing positive about to happen. Bilaal says she got verbally aggressive, told him he needed to shut up about her personal business, and then dropped the alleged line that broke the internet. You could end up missing or catch a bullet.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Bruh, that's not a warning. That's a movie script. That's not healing. That's front row energy at a 90s crime thriller. And then, according to him, one of her people followed him to the car, continuing the threats. Imagine leaving a birthday party and suddenly you in a whole Power episode. This moment is where the healing era storyline collapses, because nothing about this sounds like yoga, sage, or trauma work. This is the bar that broke her brand, bruh. Catch a bullet. Do you understand how wild that sounds coming from someone who built a career on red table talk vulnerability quotes? That's not, I'm seeking peace. That's, I'm seeking silence. And the internet ate it up because it fits exactly what people already thought. That Jada's whole spiritual journey been looking more like a PR costume than an actual transformation. One line like that, allegedly, and people start reevaluating everything. The Tupac obsession, the open marriage, the entanglement era, the public humiliation cycles, the I'm healing but somehow still in drama every year vibe. Because the truth is, if you sell the world peace but move like pressure, the mask cracks fast. And this line allegedly dropped in the lobby with 7 bodies behind her. It wasn't just a threat. It was a plot twist nobody saw coming. This is the sentence that made people say, hey, yo, this ain't the Jada she been showing us. This the Jada Will been protecting us from. All right, let's really break this down. Because this lawsuit don't just live in 2021. It bleeds straight into the Chris Rock slap era. And that's what makes everything feel way messier. According to Bilaal, right after Will smacked Chris on live TV, worldwide humiliation, memes everywhere, career crisis. Will's team reached out like, hey, yo, we need you to help clean this up. And Bilaal said no. Not because he couldn't, not because he didn't want to help his boy, but because the crisis management allegedly involved tasks he felt were illegal, unethical, or morally compromising. Bruh, that's heavy. You know how wild something gotta be for a 40-year friend to go, yeah, nah, I'm good. I'm not doing that. And if he refused to be part of the cleanup, you know Jada wasn't happy about that. Because that slap forced the whole family into defense mode. Jada was already getting dragged for months. Entanglement memes, ball jokes, Tupac discourse, people saying she embarrassed Will for years. Now add the slap, and suddenly the whole world treating Will like he lost his mind. So imagine, in that moment, one of the few people who knows everything, says, I'm not helping y'all fix this. That's not disloyalty. That's dangerous to the brand. That's how friendships turn into enemies in Hollywood. That's when NDAs start flying around. That's when secrets get treated like weapons. And that's exactly when the alleged retaliation starts, according to the lawsuit. It all connects. The slap, the pressure, the desperation, the fear of public collapse. This ain't random. This is a chain reaction that started the night Will walked on that stage. Now this part right here, this is where Hollywood turns from glam to griminess real fast. Bilaal claims that after he refused to be part of the Oscar damage control, the Smith machine flipped into retaliation mode. And if you know how the industry works, this is not surprising. In Hollywood, when you stop being useful,
today your ass is gonna die, bitch. Say goodnight, motherfucker.
They don't argue with you. They erase you. He says he started getting portrayed as unstable, delusional, fabricating stories, bitter, seeking attention, not credible. Bruh, that's the classic playbook, the smear strategy. We've seen this with assistants, dancers, security guards, managers, stylists, whistleblowers. Powerful people don't clap back. They shut down your reputation quietly, strategically, intentionally. And when Bilaal says his health deteriorated and he suffered emotional trauma and financial loss from the alleged retaliation, that lines up with what happens when you try to expose people with more money, more lawyers, more PR, more control. Because let's be real, if a regular person tries to fight a Hollywood machine, it's like boxing a tornado. You swing, you miss, you disappear. And worst part, the internet joins in without even knowing they're doing PR for celebrities for free. One narrative, one tweet, one podcast clip, boom, reputation gone. So when he calls what happened to him a retaliatory campaign, that ain't light language. That's a man saying, I tried to walk away and they tried to bury me for it. This is the part where the story stops being messy and becomes terrifying. Here's where the whole thing goes from drama to danger. Because Bilaal wasn't just walking away. He was writing a memoir, a full book, a tell-all, a let me finally say what I've seen for 40 years project. Bruh, Hollywood hates books like that. And according to the lawsuit, the moment Jada and Will found out he was working on a memoir, that's when the pressure hit a different level. Think about it. A dude who's been around your house, your kids, your sets, your private life, your scandals, your secrets, suddenly writing a whistleblower memoir? That's a nightmare for any celebrity, especially a couple who already lived through entanglement era, the Oscar slap, open marriage public meltdown, Years of internet dragging, ongoing rumors and whispers. A memoir is not a podcast. A memoir is permanent. It's ink, it's receipts, it's history. So allegedly you got NDAs being demanded, threats being thrown around, reputations being attacked, intimidation in parking lots, or else energy everywhere. All because the man was going to write a book. And here's what people forget. Calling someone a whistleblower is not a joke. You only use that word when the information they have is sensitive, damaging, or extremely inconvenient. So when he labels himself a whistleblower, he's basically saying, I know things you prayed would never reach the public. And that's when this whole story becomes less about gossip and more about exposing the architecture of power behind Hollywood families. All right, now this part right here, this is where the internet dropped its phone, picked it back up, and said, yo, run that back. Because Bilaal ain't just accusing Jada of threats. He brought up that old viral clip of Will allegedly groping Alfonso Ribeiro in front of Jada, in front of the kids, in front of everybody. Bruh, this ain't small talk. This ain't a rumor from some comment section in 2015. This is something he claims he already showed the world, and now he's using it like, see, y'all said I was lying, but look at this. And that's the thing. The moment you bring real visuals, real footage, something that looks like it actually happened, the whole conversation changes. Because now people aren't asking, is Bilaal delusional? They start asking,
wait a minute. Who are you?
how much more does he have? And if he has one clip like that, what else did he witness in 40 years? Hollywood is already built on secrecy. People know what they're allowed to know. So when a day one suddenly pulls receipts, that hits different. Plus, let's keep it a buck. Will and Alfonso been close since Fresh Prince, but nobody expected that allegation to resurface now inside a lawsuit tied to Jada. This is the moment where the story stops being about threats in the lobby and becomes about the entire Smith family image cracking from multiple angles at once. This is the kind of plot twist that turns a messy situation into a wildfire. Now let's talk money. Because Bilaal ain't suing for some humble $80,000 in a Starbucks gift card. Nah, bruh. He wants $3 million.
Huh?
$3 million. And on paper, that sounds insane to some folks. But once you understand the Hollywood lawsuit ecosystem, this is actually standard retaliation pricing. He's claiming emotional trauma, health deterioration, career damage, reputation destruction, long-term financial loss, harassment, threats. Bruh, that's a 7-layer burrito of damages. But let's be real, he's probably not getting the full $3 million. Not because they're innocent or guilty, but because lawsuits like this settle in the shadows. Quiet money. No admissions, no interviews. But here's the twist. He doesn't need the full $3 million for the lawsuit to be devastating. The real damage is already done. Jada's Healing Era brand took a bullet before anyone else did. Will looks even more chaotic by association. The public sees cracks everywhere. People now believe Bilaal might have more to say. This suit was less about winning and more about exposure. And that already happened. He wanted attention, he got it. He wanted public sympathy, he got that too. He wanted to force the Smith camp to respond, mission accomplished. The money is the headline, but the story is the payout. Now here's where everything comes full circle, because you got to understand why this lawsuit blew up the way it did. It's not just because Jada allegedly said catch a bullet. It's not just because Will's best friend is suing. It's not just because of NDAs and threats and memoirs. It's because the internet already didn't trust her. For years, people been saying she humiliates Will. She overshares. She plays the victim. She hides behind healing when she's the one creating chaos. She manipulates narratives. She stays in drama. She never takes real accountability.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
So when this lawsuit came out, people didn't hesitate. They didn't squint. They didn't wait for evidence. They said, yeah, that sounds like her. That's the crazy part. The allegations didn't sound out of character. They sounded like the mask finally slipping. And once the public sees you as inconsistent, your brand is done. Healing era over. The persona collapses instantly. This lawsuit didn't create a new version of Jada. It confirmed the version people been whispering about for years. And now, there's no PR team big enough, no sage stick long enough, no red table talk deep enough to fix this image. The story moved from Jada is misunderstood to Jada been hiding who she really is. That's why this case hit so hard. That's why it spread. That's why people are locked in. Because the internet loves one thing more than mess: seeing the truth finally line up with the rumors. All right, listen. After everything we just broke down, the threats, the retaliation claims, the memoir, the Oscars fallout, the 40-year friendship blowing up, you start to realize something deeper, bruh. A lot of these Hollywood healing journeys be nothing but marketing plans dressed up as spirituality. People love to talk about peace while moving behind the scenes like it's war. And that's really the lesson here. When someone's public persona gets too perfect, too polished, too saint-like, that's usually when the real contradictions start leaking out. Because real healing, real accountability, real growth, it don't need camera crews and book deals and red tables to prove itself. It shows up in how you treat people, especially the ones who've been loyal to you for decades. So watching this whole situation unfold, it makes me think, how many healers, gurus, spiritual influencers, and energy workers would crumble if the world saw how they move when the camera's off? How many people preaching love operate on threats? How many people preaching transparency hide behind NDAs? How many people saying I'm evolving still using fear as currency? And that's why stories like this hit so hard. Not because of the drama, but because it exposes how easy it is to build a fake version of yourself that the world congratulates, while the real version stays buried under PR. So whether this lawsuit wins or loses, whether Bilaal gets his $3 million or gets nothing, the real damage already happened. The image cracked, the mask slipped, and the internet saw everything it needed to see. Bruh, sometimes the truth doesn't need a judge. It just needs the trend. So look, y'all tell me in the comments, does this lawsuit expose the real Jada, or is this man just trying to cash out before he fades out? And if you rock with the breakdowns, the humor, the chaos, the truth telling, then you already know. If you like this video, you're gonna love the one that just popped up on your screen right now. Click it, don't play. I'll see you on the next one. Panda out.